Audiobooks. Obviously, the method you are using is important, but also the material is important, so you should choose your material wisely. I can recommend to you some audiobooks that you can use for the shadowing method. The first one is a simul. This is one of the best for shadowing. It doesn't have any English in the audio. It has brief grammar explanations. It is supposed to have around 2,000 words in the target language, and 2,000 words is a great number to get over the threshold level. And they offer a lot of languages. The second one is the Teach Yourself series. They are very popular, and in my opinion, one of the best materials for beginners. But you have to cut and edit the audio in order to have English-only audio. You can use Audacity for editing. It's a free software. You can find it again in the appendix. And the third one is Pimsleur. Pimsleur has its own method, but you can use the conversations at the beginning of multiple lessons and edit the English out of a full-length lesson. Also, you can make your own material. How to create your own material. If you want to create your own material, go for it. You just need to take the principles of language learning into account and make it REM method friendly if you want to use that. Also, you need to be selective in terms of what to learn. First of all, you need to learn the basics in the language, phrases and the most common words. For this, you can either write sentences for each word in your own language and have a native speaker translate it to your target language, or find free basic material online and edit it. Guidelines for the material. The material should be continuous narrative, conversations, monologues, or readings. It should be completely in the target language, no English or your native language. It needs to be in 15-minute parts. You should divide it into 15-minute parts because you need to shadow for 15 minutes every day. Number 1. Learning the top 1,000 words and phrases. As we will see in the 4th chapter, the most common 1,000 words will give you approximately 88% of understanding, so learning them along with useful phrases will help you get over the threshold level quickly. Number 2. Once you are over the threshold level in the language, you can introduce interest material. Threshold level is when you have a foundation in the language. It is hard to quantify, but it is when you know over about 1,400 words. When you can understand the main points of the things you watch or read. From what I've seen from polyglots, you can turn anything into meaningful and useful material using your interests. Let me tell you about content-based learning, so that you design your material according to it. Content-based learning. Content-based learning is an approach that focuses not on the language itself, but rather on what is being taught through the language. That is, the language becomes the medium through which something new is learned. I'm going to introduce the points briefly. Number 1. People learn a second language more successfully when they use the language as a means of acquiring information. For example, someone who learns French to learn about French cuisine will acquire information in French and thus will be more successful. Number 2. It better reflects learners' needs for learning a second language. By focusing on only what you need and what you care about, you learn faster and more effectively. And because it's need and interest-based, language learning is going to be more motivating than focusing on language itself or ideas, issues, and opinions as in traditional language teaching. So pick content that is in line with your interests in your native language. Use the target language as a vehicle for learning more about a subject, skill, or culture. It is what polyglots do. It is what motivates them. They learn languages to be able to learn new stuff that otherwise they can't learn. So make use of your interests in your language learning journey.